Now let's walk out here and contemplate a little bit on our Blacksmith Forge. Sun's shining nice and pretty. It is a little chilly. I got long sleeves on. Good thing I checked my GoPro. It had a big old smeared fingerprint on the lens. I usually don't even look. Yeah, a rough estimate here. It won't be exact because I'm not doing the work right now. That hunk of iron is 30 inches long. That's definitely been through some sort of heat. I don't know if that was part of a boiler or what it was, but at one time, I'd say that booger bear was riveted. Could be bolt holes, but it looks more like rivet holes. I don't even remember where I got it. Oh, the width. The open end is 12 inches across. It's not very straight, but it doesn't have to be. See this rock? I was ruby mining up in North Carolina, mining rubies out of a stream. And I found this in the dirt near the stream. Now, at first glance you would think it's just a river-worn rock, but if you look at it closer, I wonder if it can't be an Indian rock or some rock from some primitive people. Look how it's rounded on both ends, yet flat in some areas. Flat here, flat here, flat here. Struck me it could be used for grinding corn. Say if they had corn out there on a rock or something, you slide it around like this to grind the corn, or if it's in a bowl, that round end would round that off, grinding corn. This flat end could be used for, it just didn't wear like a normal river rock. And it's some kind of sandstone, or I don't think it's quartz. It might be, it's pretty darn heavy, but it's real rough too. So I can't help but wonder if it wasn't at one time used by some primitive people. Anyway, it's been reduced to holding down a grill cover for the last 10 or 15 years. It's about the second grill it's been used on. Alright, tape measure, Walter. That's enough wondering. We have an opening. .26.5 inches. .18.5. So let's see, we said 12 inches was the width of that thing. 18. Well, let's just call it 19. Minus 12, 7. Almost 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. Come on, Walter, put your brain in gear. So a 3.5 inch piece of metal across here, welded to the edge of my piece in the back of the truck. Another 3.5 inch piece over here, welded to the back of my truck. Would fit right in that hole, providing we come up with the length we want. Alright. Everybody was pretty certain, and I have to agree, that the way I had it laid out yesterday was too long anyway. Let's go 2 sections of bricks in length. plus an end piece. And these would go like this. We're going to mount them with in that piece of metal with a refractory cement. So that gives me a length, rough length, not being exact, 20 inches. What we said that was 30. I think that's what I said it was. Yeah, 30. So 20 inches. We'll be cutting off 10 inches of it. Now, we said this was 26 and a half. 3 1/4 piece here and 3 1/4 piece here. And our little hunk of boiler going to fit right down in that opening. We'll have, what did I say, 3 1/4 and 3 1/2 inch lip. That really ain't enough place to store coal. You could put quite a bit up there on that lip. Then again, it's not a big deal to put a pan full of coal over here to shovel across. I like the windbreaker on there, even if it is tin. If necessary, we could line it with brick. See how a brick fits in there. These grates in here, I'm either going to see if I can make them fit my grill on the front porch, or possibly use them in my smoker. Now we said we had 3 1/2 inch lip up there. That's time you go to that back wall, it's going to be a good 2 inches. Boy, that foundry is just about going to fit in there just right. Forge, I mean. I'm going to have to get my sawzall out and just cut the entire bottom out of this booger there. It's just tin anyway. I think if I leave about a 1 inch lip under there just for bracing, it would be the same as having a piece of angle iron under there. If necessary, I can add a piece of angle iron for support if it gets too weak or saggy. But that iron thing I'm going to design ought to fit right in that hole if I measure it right. In fact, if you don't make it in there and permanent, I could lift the whole well, I'd need some handles on it, but I could lift the whole blacksmith forge in and out of this table. That being the case, I might could come up with a small portable table and take my blacksmith forge with me, providing you don't drop it with them heavy bricks it's going to be lined with. That's farther down the road. We definitely don't want to make it in there permanent, because this thing being tin might give out on us one day. Now we've got to come up with a notion to get the air blowing up through this thing. Is it best to blow the air from the end or the bottom? Well, Walter's got his brain in gear again, even if it ain't working too good. Got my fingers nasty, didn't I? Well, I think we can take my sawzall, I mean not my sawzall, my angle grinder, put a cutting blade on there and zip that out of there and nothing flat. I really don't think I need to line this part here with grease. It's not going to get that hot there anyway. The heat's going to be coming up. That would reduce my weight on my table that lifts out. But you can't really lift it out if it's connected to a air pipe. I forgot about that. It has to be more of a permanent thing. You could make that air pipe just a snug fit where it would, you know, it would get corroded and cruddy and stick. Well, we need a way to put dump the cinders out of there. Unless we just shovel them out of there. They get down in the air pipe though. That'll have to be cleaned out occasionally. We'll come up with some little design. And we can always go back and change it if that don't work. I won't need these valves anymore on here. Guess I could take them out. Could use one of these valves and put a small coffee can forge right over there. Put a propane tank out here and run that coffee can forge off of propane right there. Have a blacksmith forge right here. Oh, that's a lot of thinking, Walter. You ain't used to thinking. Alright, let's rest our brain here a little bit. Put my brick back in his truck. I'll show you something, another project. Funny how one project always leads to. Well, I can't really show you the project right now. My wife's car's in the garage and I ain't going to go ask her to move it. But behind her car I got a gasoline driven electric generator that I bought on eBay. From some little company down in Florida on eBay years ago. $400 or $500. Never used it, shoved it in there. I ain't started it in the Coons age. But I'm wondering if I can run my small electric arc welders off of that thing. I don't really have a large enough fuse in there for my 120 arc welder in the garage. You need a 45 amp, and I think about the largest amp circuit breaker I got in there is 25. I had to run a whole new wire, put a larger breaker for that 120 amp welder. I ran it, the 120 amp welder here not too long ago, but it kept tripping the circuit breaker. But my idea on the generator, if I can drag that booger bear out here and run my welders off of it, I might just set this set this Blacksmith Forge up out by the barn, do my work out there instead of down here in the driveway. Cover it back up, rest your brain, Walter.